Welcome to this brief tutorial of the grants management application within ActionStrategy. In this, I'm going to briefly go through some of the features within the system that allow you to add additional details to your grant tracking system and ensure continuity and compliance. We'll use the example of 5.9. One of the things you can do within ActionStrategy is take your grant work plan and actually track that within the system. So if I expand 5.9, this has been nicely outlined some of the critical steps for this particular grant. Sometimes it's organized by measurable objectives and key activities or key tasks, but this one follows the requirements of the grant itself. You'll see as I hover over, some of these commands on the right enable me to uh, perform certain functions. So I can add comments, I can attach documents that are supportive of the grant itself. The intent, again, is to have everything in one place. And if I just want to see the grant work plan, I can click on the project view and it will break down all the details, all the work plan details associated with this particular grant. And then it can just be managed. And then if I need to export this to for reporting purposes, especially if I've added comments or other notes here, I can just click here on the left and I can click on export to Word. It'll export the whole thing to a document, a Word document, and then I can cut and paste into my report from that. The other thing I can do is if I click on this little icon, if I've designated this as a grant, I can click on the grant link, and here I can see a lot of detail specific to the grant. So, the title of funding, obviously, that's been put into the main field, which I think is a good way to do that. What's the award number, the department, the programs, it's under natural resources. And then I can also select an agency that is providing the funding. And then once the agency has been identified, I can then select the agency branch that's associated with this. And this could be preloaded under the administrative section for this. I could say have a start and end date, account number associated with this, what the total contract amount is. This looks like this is right in here as well. Who the grant specialist is and who the program manager is. So in this case, you have multiple leaders who have a role and want some kind of an oversight connection to this particular grant. A point of contact on the grantee side or grantor side. Identify a scope of work, again, which has been cut and pasted in here. And then also, what are the contract attributes? So are we hiring new staff? I just click on that. It gives me fields, my purchasing equipment. Again, the intent is to just have all the relevant information specific to this grant in one place. Now, the grant reminders, this was identified by Shelley as the type of information that she would like to see in this. So you click on Add Grant Reminder, the general ledger details sent to the manager, and you'll see it's assigned to the grant manager and also finance. So they would start receiving these notifications prior. So you have the general ledger, the financial report due date, and then the program report. And you can just identify each of these don't have to be filled in. This just sets up a basic email reminder or tickler system to ensure that the grant reporting is done on time. There's also a page or a section of this where you can identify eligible costs and activities. And this might work especially for less complex grants where you have fewer costs or purchases to make, but you can identify what's the cost, what the details are, what the amount is. And again, the intent is to ensure that everyone is clear about what is allowable and what's not allowable. And then another place here at the end that you can attach all the documentation. The intent, again, being that for all the grants within the tribe, you have all the relevant information available to the key individuals that would need it. And then if there's turnover mid, grant period or something like that, then you can ensure that everyone has access to the right information. If you click on the grant portfolio, this is every grant that's been added into the system. And again, ideally, you can go in and say, here's the grant, here's the funding source, uh, here is who is in charge, the time frame, um, obviously the amount, and the account number. And so if that's all completely filled out, then it makes it easier from a compliance standpoint, from a tracking standpoint, to have everything in one place that can be easily managed.